Hello, my name is Jeremy Price. As a child, I was fascinated with electronics. I would spend hours upon hours taking them apart, finding out what made them tick, cleaning them, and then putting them back together to see if I could make them work just as they did before. Now, this got me in a lot of trouble because I took apart a lot of brand new stereos, televisions, and video game consoles. Sometimes I'd get them working again, but sometimes I wouldn't. Now as an adult, I've gotten better at it, and my hobby lingers on. So today, I will be showing you how to disassemble an Xbox 360 controller. Now some of the things you'll need, of course, are an Xbox 360 controller. I have this controller. It's a Gears of War Edition controller. It's a special edition controller. It's one of my favorites. I have this multi-tool, which has a flathead screwdriver attachment on it. It makes it easy to pry apart the case. This is the most important tool. This is a T8 Torx security driver. It's like a standard Torx socket driver, but it has a hole in the middle for the security bits. Now first you're going to notice on the back there are 6 screw holes. There are 2 on the bottom, 2 in the middle, and 2 up top. Those 6 screws hold the main part of the frame together, but that is not the only 6 screws you need to take out. When you take the battery pack off, right below the power port, there's a barcode. That sticker comes off, and there is a 7th screw right here. That screw has to come out for this controller to come apart. So I take that screw out. I take these screws out. Now I've already removed the other 4 screws to make it a little more time friendly. Now once you remove those 7 screws, there's nothing left to do but take it apart. Now you may ask yourself, why would I want to take a controller apart? Well, there's several reasons you'd want to take a controller apart. People take them apart to clean them. To clean the dirt that you can't get to with just a rag. Some people mod them. And when I say mod, I mean they change the way the controller functions. They can add things like a rapid fire mod. They can also change the color of the LED lights. I personally customize controllers. I can change the shell. I can take this shell and put another shell on it. I can change the buttons, color, style, size. I can change the thumbsticks to make them bigger. I've always enjoyed taking things apart. So let's see what the inside of this controller looks like. Now this controller comes apart quite easily. And here we have the motherboard of the controller. This is where all the functions of the controller are housed. From your buttons, right here in these 4 circles, to your joysticks, to your trigger buttons and your shoulder buttons. Now I'm going to go a bit further and I'm going to disassemble this by removing the joysticks, get those out of the way, and then simply pop the motherboard loose. Now you have to be careful with the motherboard, because if you break this, the controller is useless. And there you have the motherboard separate from the housing. Now these here that are dangling from the bottom, these are your vibration functions. This is what makes your controller vibrate when you're playing a game and something happens that makes you feel some sort of impact. Now notice that you can remove these, but it's This is the inside of the back of the housing. Two rubber pieces are vital to the function. These are the pieces that are between the buttons and the actual places on the motherboard where the input. Here are your triggers. They come out separately as well. This is your thumb pad. Now this thumb pad is a little different because it has two settings depending on what kind of game you're playing or what kind of play style you have. One setting sets up kind of high, the other setting recesses back into the controller for tighter gameplay. Here are your colored buttons, all four of them, the blue X, the yellow Y, the orange B, the green A. They all come out separate as well. You have three more buttons here. Your select button, your start button. This button here is the epicenter of the entire controller. It brings up all your menus and it takes you home when you're done playing your game. The Xbox 360 controllers are very customizable. On just about any website like eBay or Amazon, you can find replacement parts for them. You can change the buttons to make them look like bullets. You can change the thumb pads to make them look like skulls. The options are endless. The case colors are endless. I myself have always enjoyed making my own cases. Now that's a totally different story because the requirements of that are simple. Blue painter's tape. Scotch makes excellent painter's tape. I do not recommend any other brand but Scotch because it seems to stick to the controller very well. Now this paint, it doesn't have to be this color of course. This is Duplicolor engine enamel. Of course Plum Crazy Purple, it's my favorite color. I keep a can handy at all times. The engine enamel paint seems to stick to the controller better, giving you a smoother finish, a less sticky finish. Now I have tried some other acrylic enamels and they seem to be sticky when you're touching the pad. Your fingers stick to it and it's not a feeling I like to have when I'm playing my games. I like for it to be smooth. So the engine enamel actually dries very fast. It dries very smooth. Plus the engine enamel is easy to find colors in it like purple. Kind of difficult to find purple spray paint. Now this controller will go back together very easily as long as you know what you're doing. This slide into place. It's not difficult to do. I hope you have enjoyed my instructional video on how to disassemble an Xbox 360 controller. And as always, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, feel free to let me know. I take constructive criticism very well. Thank you very much.